Much of the credit for us being able to experience and witness the beautiful temples and pilgrimage sites of India today goes to Ahilyabai Holkar, whose relentless efforts have not only helped preserve but also transform some of the Hindu pilgrimage sites from their utter ruinous conditions into divine and magnificent places. As a result of some of the anti-Hindu policies of the Mughals, numerous Hindu temples and places of worship were razed to the ground. For instance, Aurangzeb demolished the Kashi Vishwanath and Krishna Janmabhoomi temples, whereas Mahmud of Ghazni destroyed Somnath temple. In order to rebuild and refurbish these holy sites of Hinduism, Ahilyabai opened up her treasury and worked all her life to restore and preserve India's cultural identity. This is why she is revered as Devi Ahilyabai and occupies a place of immense love and respect in the hearts of Indians. How did Ahilyabai spend her childhood? What did she do as a queen to benefit her people and contribute to building and preserving India's cultural and spiritual heritage? Let's explore. Ahilyabai was born in 1725 in the small village of Chaundi, Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. Girls' education was discouraged in the village, so her father taught her to read and write at home. Ahilyabai was not only beautiful and well-behaved, but also educated and talented. One day, Malwa Rao Holkar, ruler of the Malwa region, and a commander under Peshwa Baji Rao halted at Chaundi while on his way to Pune. The story goes that he encountered Ahilyabai, who was merely 8 years old at the time, in a temple ceremony providing food to the poor of the village. He was deeply impressed by her devoutness and virtues. After seeking permission from her parents, Malwa Rao then took Ahilyabai to the Holkar territory. She was soon married to his son, Khande Rao. But fate had other designs. Tragedy struck Ahilya's life when her husband Khande Rao died in the Battle of Kumbher. At that time, the practice of sati was prevalent in India, which required a widowed woman to immolate herself on her husband's funeral pyre. However, Malwa Rao stopped Ahilya from performing these ghastly rites as he was convinced that she had a greater purpose in life and was not meant to perish on the funeral pyre of his own son. After her husband's death, Ahilyabai nominated her son, Male Rao, to the throne. But destiny was rather cruel to the young queen. Just a few days after his coronation, Male Rao also passed away. 12 years later, in 1766, her father-in-law, Malwa Rao, her staunch supporter and mentor, also died. Now, since the Holkar dynasty was left without any male heir, her enemies started sensing this as an opportunity. Ahilyabai, despite all her sorrows and fears, decided to take over the rule of Holkar herself. She took control of the affairs of the state and governed like a mature and wise ruler, both in battlefield and in the diplomatic arena. Ahilyabai Holkar entrusted all the responsibilities of the army to Subedar Tukoji Rao Holkar, the adopted son of Malhar Rao. Well aware of the looming threat posed by the British, she also recruited a French expert in the army to teach new tactics and strategies to her soldiers. Within a few years, Ahilyabai's popularity and courage became renowned far and wide, and Indore transformed from a small village to a prosperous city during her 30-year reign. Ahilyabai also took on the responsibility of building and maintaining temples throughout the country. During the reconstruction of the dilapidated Somnath temple, she ensured that an idol was installed in a secret shrine underground where it could not be damaged or defiled. In addition to all this, she also contributed to the restoration of holy Hindu pilgrimage sites, the most important amongst them being the task of restoring the glory of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Considered one of the 12 sacred Jyotirlingas and amongst the holiest Hindu pilgrimage sites, its destruction was ordered by Aurangzeb on April 18, 1669. Later, some kings and Maharajas made plans to rebuild the Kashi Vishwanath temple, but due to the interference of some Nawabs of Lucknow, the work could not be completed. When everyone tried and failed, Ahilyabai Holkar took the initiative to undertake this work. In 1780, she not only rebuilt Kashi Vishwanath temple, but also built several other temples, ghats, dharamshalas in Kashi. Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab also contributed to Ahilyabai's noble work and donated 821 kilograms of gold for the decoration of the two spires of the temple built by her. She also empowered women and made them aware of their rights. She advised widows to adopt a son so that they could have rights over and retain their husband's property. To quickly resolve people's complaints, Ahilyabai held public hearings every day. One example of her enlightened rule was her decision not to award capital punishment to anyone. On the contrary, she would extract a vow from the criminals to stay away from crime for the rest of their lives. As a result, prisoners got a second chance to abandon past lives and return to the mainstream society. As a result of her dedicated efforts, even the Bhil tribe, notorious for making trouble for the villagers, agreed to transform their ways and become hardworking and honest farmers. The Philosopher Queen may have breathed her last on August 13, 1795, passing away at the age of 70. But a message of women empowerment and examples of her skilled leadership and her contribution to religion and society has made her immortal in the hearts and minds of people of India. Her courage and fortitude brings to mind these lines of Dayanand Saraswati. सच है विपत्ति जब आती है, कायर को ही दहलाती है। सूरमा नहीं विचलित होते, क्षण एक नहीं धीरज खोते। विघ्नों को गले लगाते हैं, कांटों में राह बनाते।